She's got a heart of goodness. She is a sloth. And when it comes to video games, she really talks. She really does talk.
I'm here with Casey. Casey, you are a real cartoon woman now.
A real unreal sloth.
Look at the eyes moving around. This is such magic. This is such gold. And we're here to talk about video games that make working fun. You've made being a sloth woman fun, and that's something that is both real and imaginary at the same time. I feel the same way about games that make work fun somehow. It shouldn't work, but it does. And you are someone who knows more about these games than just about anybody I know. Every time I've been on a stream with you, one seems to magically pop up.
It kind of does, doesn't it? It's not on purpose. It just happenstance. I just happened to be playing something like that at the time. I think the first time I had you on my stream as a guest was when I was playing SnowRunner.
Which is a game, from what I gathered, you just mosey in a truck?
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's really relaxing. And it's really rewarding. Just you got your list of contracts, you take your cargo, you deliver it to some place, and like the challenge is in the journey there. It's a little bit of a challenging off-road kind of game. And things can go wrong. You can accidentally flip your truck, get stuck in the mud, drop your cargo everywhere, and then you have to go get a crane and put it back on, and it can be a whole deal. But when you finally deliver the cargo, that little ping of satisfaction, it's marvelous. And I was just thinking, there's another game that I play that I don't think you've seen is Hard Space Shipbreaker. Have you seen this one?
Hard Space Shipbreaker. No, what's that?
Oh, it is a kind of work game again, where you play as somebody who breaks down spaceships and like sorts all the different components you're tearing out of it into like stuff is going to be melted down, stuff is going to be repurposed. You got to very slowly take apart these little spaceships. And
how's the camera view? Is it first person?
It's first person, yeah.
And you're going in and being like, oh, we've got to take out the siding. Take the siding out. Yeah.
Yep. You go in, you've got like a little like laser cutter, and you can cut open the side of the spaceship, and you got to be very careful. It's a very relaxing game as well until it isn't. Until you do something and oops, I haven't depressurized the spaceship. I've cut something. Everything's exploding now. The reactor's melting down. Oh no.
Is there death in the game? Can you die in the act?
You die, but you get brought back again. So you have unlimited clones. The company who hires you in the first place, essentially you get murdered at the start of the game. It's a very dystopian kind of critique of capitalism. To sample your genetic material at the start of your contract in the game, and you accrue this massive amount of debt that you have to work off. Then they kill you so that they can clone you infinite amount of times.
Wow.
And so you can die in that game a lot of different ways, and it can go from really, really chill to absolute mayhem in a split second.
Wow.
You're just taking apart this ship. Next thing, oops, I've accidentally hit a fuel line. Stuff's exploding. My character's burned to death.
Is it gory? Is it scary? Is there screams? Is there bloody murder?
It can be. It's not gory, but it can be a little frightening when that happens. There is a bit of screaming. One time I yanked a chair out of where it was stuck. It was, you pull the chairs out with this kind of like gravity gun, and I yanked it out a little too hard. it came flying at me, cracked the face helmet, and like my poor space person died horribly, suffocated in space. And
Wow.
just to wake up again and start the job.
Yeah.
Back at it.
I was going to say, I'm wondering if this game came before or after the Duncan Jones film Moon, starring Sam Rockwell, about
Oh
a
yes,
series. You know
I
that
think
movie?
I do.
Yeah.
It's a great movie that I haven't watched in a while
Mhm.
because Kevin Spacey is in it,
Oh, I
and
forgot. As a robot, as like a
he,
creepy
uh,
stab you in the back robot, which is
yeah,
true to
it was
form for him.
it was a very good movie, but it's like a lot of things with him in it. I just
Mm.
kind of lost the interest to rewatch it.
Yeah, I could see
But
that.
Sam Rockwell was fantastic in it, and had a very brief role for Matt Berry in it as well.
Oh, that's right. As one of
Yeah,
the company men.
he was a good asshole boss kind of. I think he needs more dramatic roles as well because he's a very funny guy,
Hmm.
but very good when you put him in something serious.
Yeah, he's got a heaviness to him in his voice
Mm,
and his expression. You just feel like a certain menace, but at the same time an absurdity. I couldn't agree more. We're way off target. I apologize. The reason I brought up the movie is because it is both absurd with these
yeah.
clones in Moon, but also tragic. And the
Mm.
game you're describing, can you give me the name of it again?
Hard Space Shipbreaker.
Hard Space Shipbreaker. It sounds like you can't help but laugh about how bad it is as well. Like it
Yeah,
when the panic hits, it's intense, but then it's like I died from a chair. Oh my god. This
it
is
was very funny.
yeah. So to do physical comedy with relaxing moments and moments of sheer panic together is a really amazing combination. I wonder how the developers could have foreseen that that would work, because when I grew up, the video games were a cartoon mascot jumps on a turtle, and maybe you're a knight and you're fighting a dragon. There was never like, what if I have to take apart spaceships? Like people would say that's absurd. No one will love it. These days, there's like a whole market for
Yeah.
games where you do sort of relaxing jobs, and they're very popular on streams as well. Just as a fan of these games, do you think that they are made by people who want to just have this relaxing experience themselves? How do they come up with the idea, you think, to do this sort of a thing? I don't know enough about the genre to guess as to whether they're like copying each other, like there's some other like popular taking a spaceship apart game that these other developers were like,
I don't think so, but
yeah.
I think they tap into the same kind of experience. It's very satisfying to have like here's a list of things that I need to do. Like in another game, it might be quests and things like that, or a bit
Mhm.
more action focused. Something very engaging about just completing tasks.
Mhm.
And especially in a game setting where it is, you don't have like the actual physical pressure of doing something.
Mm.
It's 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 in a little fantasy bubble where you can do what you want.
Yeah.
And it's in one sense it's taken away from the capitalism kind of system where I need to do this or I'll die.
Mm.
And I think a lot of people have found out there's a lot of fun to be had with doing jobs. Like Power Wash Simulator is huge. It's a
Yeah.
fantastic game. There's just something so relaxing about it and so satisfying about it. Just finding all the little details you gotta check off that checklist, and it's marvelous. And another reason I think these kind of games take off
Mm.
is that I think, for me at least, they can be great games to play while you're doing something else. So,
Mm.
for example, if I'm listening to a podcast, I can't just sit and listen to a podcast. My mind wanders. I can't pay attention to it.
Mm.
I have to be doing something
Mhm.
to be able to have something to focus on, so I can listen.
Mhm.
And for example, a game like Power Wash Simulator, I can just be focused on the task that's in front of me. There's no plot details happening. There's no story to pay any attention to. I don't have to give it my full attention. So I can be listening to a podcast or watching a YouTube video, for example, and just have to have that experience where I'm playing the game and that's keeping me busy while I can listen.
Yeah. So interesting. With kids today, which is the oldest old man thing anyone can use to start a sentence, fidget toys are so popular. And as an adult, I'd be like, well, I can't use that to pretend I'm blowing somebody up like I used to with G.I. Joes when I was growing up, or Transformers, or even with My Little Pony. I used to collect some of those and would like arrange them all by color and type and be like, these are the ones that all have holiday style cutie marks on them, I believe they're called. And these are ones with like cake and food on it. Fidget toys, it's just like I'm stretching out a stretchy thing, or I'm moving a marble around, or I'm spinning a spinner. But when you have a lot of extra energy and you need just some quick, fun feedback, they can be really rewarding, especially with kids with a lot of
Yeah,
energy.
I've got an infinity cube on my desk at the moment.
Oh, I don't know what
And
that is.
it's a cube. And there are 8 pieces to it, and it's connected together via little hinges.
Hmm.
And it folds open.
Yeah, I think I can envision this. So
So
unlike a Rubik's Cube, which has like a final form you're supposed to get it to, this is
yeah,
something you can simply fold and unfold and shape and
yeah.
reshape. Yeah.
And it'll fold out and just fold out into a rectangle, fold back into a square
Mm,
infinite times. Yeah, it's
yeah.
just something that I can do one-handed and don't even need to notice that I'm doing it. It's yeah, a neat little fidget toy.
Yeah. And
And
with a game like SnowRunner,
yeah,
yeah, you can't do it one-handed and not pay attention fully, but it never stresses you out in a threatening way. It's always like oh gosh, I'm in a puddle. Gonna have to
you can get stuck in the mud. Yeah, you can
and then you just like calmly back out. You can't even go fast in most of those trucks. A lot of different trucks, from what I
some of them
gathered.
can go pretty fast, but it depends on the environment because it's an off-road game as well. A lot of the terrain is very hazardous.
Mm,
So you're going to be going slow anyway, and then there'll be mud, or there'll be snow, or there'll be water that you have to go through
yeah.
that will hold you up. It'll slow you down.
Yeah. The most action-packed out of all the work games you've showed me is this one with the big space dwarves. And they're
Deep Rock Galactic.
Deep Rock Galactic. What a
Yeah,
catchy, fun name. I thought it was just called Space Dwarves. Are they dwarves? Do they just look
yeah,
like dwarves? They are
they're
dwarves.
dwarves.
And they are space dwarves. They
Yep,
are working to get the natural resources from an alien planet and are often attacked by giant bugs.
something like that. I think it's. I'm not actually sure. Is it a planet, or I think it's like asteroids or something?
Ah.
They're
Mhm.
mining asteroids, and there are alien insects.
And this one was
And
more action-packed.
yes, it had more of that first-person shooter action going on.
Mm.
You have different weapons, and you also have different tool sets that you can use for the primary objective, which is drilling, mining, pickaxing at stuff for the resources. So it's like it's a mining game,
Mm.
but it does have that first person shooter action going on. It's very satisfying as well. You know, real good action.
Yeah.
It's
But from what I
4
gathered,
player co-op.
working with your team, you seemed the most satisfied when you helped a team member and like achieved a work goal properly, like
Yeah.
attaching a big hitch to some mineral that you're trying to get off. The rock was more exciting than like when the little bugs came at you and you just flamethrowered them. That was okay. But
Yeah.
that was more to like, if it was a workplace simulator, that was more like I ran out of staples and I'm gonna like get the staples. Whereas when you finally got the rock done, it was when you finished the big report and we're like, we did it, we got the account. We're in the office. We're managing the office properly. Everyone in their own cubicle, getting it done. It sounds so potentially boring, but it was so just the right amount of silly and exciting and positive. All these games are about doing something helpful ultimately, which is, again, when I was growing up, it was kill a bunch of animals as a cartoon man, stomp them to death underfoot, or kill a bunch of monsters. It was killing and exploring. These games are about actually like helping things get cleaner or helping your colleagues in this crappy job you have in the mine not die
Yeah.
and get through the day. It's all about being helpful.
When we talk about, games were this when I was growing up, or games were that when I was growing up, I think the language of gaming
Mm.
has expanded. It has more verbs and adjectives that it can express itself with,
Mm.
if you catch my meaning. So you don't just have these kind of job simulation kind of games. You have like visual novels and dating simulators, and there's loads of other games that are not necessarily games that I would put in the category of like work simulators. Like you have like a lot of town building stuff like
Mm.
that. And I think like there is a lot kind of growing out from that. Back when I was young, it would have been stuff like Sim City or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. And you have things like Stardew Valley and that kind of town building kind of and farming kind of ways that players can express themselves with. Like,
Yeah.
here's a town I built. This is my thingy bob that I built. It's nice and it's fun. And I think that the more vocabulary games have to let you play with is great. And even in terms of games where the focus is killing, it's gotten broader again.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. I like that a lot. There's like there is more for everybody these
Yeah.
days. And I love that. There are new genres popping into existence. There was a time before a lot of this kind of indie game kind of stuff exploded out of nowhere, where a lot of the big studios, the AAA or triple anus, as you said last week.
On your charity stream, I did say
Yeah,
that.
you somehow blundered out a triple anus, and I haven't stopped giggling about that since, because it's genius.
It's very kind. Yeah, the triple A style game
The
with a lot of
the triple
anus.
anus industry. So there was a narrowing of genre happening, and I think that there was a lot of subgenres that got kind of smoothed out of gaming. Everything had to be the biggest thing it could be, or
Mm.
it wouldn't be allowed to exist. So, for example, EA buying up a load of old developers and a lot of great studios and just killing them off, or turning their IP into something it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like what they did with do you remember Syndicate?
A little bit. Not as
Well,
strongly as I'd like. You can refresh my
it's
memory.
like a strategy game, real-time strategy with a little squad of agents, and they turned it into a first-person shooter.
Oh.
It's like we used to have more genres,
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of like within the AAA space, just kind of everything just got a little bit narrower.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then indie games came along, and there was like a lot more ways to express through gameplay different
Mm-hmm.
ideas and different ways of play, and it was marvelous. So we had a lot of a lot of great stuff happening, and a lot of developers who were kind of inspired by games of the past that had kind of gone away, kind of saying, what there isn't this anymore. Why can't there be more like this? And people have come up with some really truly amazing things. And I love that. I love
Me
it.
too. Me too. I think that with AAA, there was a hope to make the game that would appeal the most to a lot of people. And they thought, what do most people want to do? They want to be good looking, and they want to do violent things, and they want to have a lot of power. They want to explore, and they want to destroy. Everyone likes destroying, right? Is what they were guessing. So we see all these games that are about being violent. And sometimes it's in a way that is making commentary about violence to help people feel smart as well as violent. But a lot of times it's also just like, isn't it fun to just kill all these guys? What we found is that these indie games that are about doing a job, people also just like being helpful and having a little task to do. Not having all this power, not having all this responsibility, and not having all this conflict. Just cleaning a wall. Now it's clean. It started dirty, and that felt bad. And now it's clean, and that feels good. It can be that simple. People actually, and as you said before, you take capitalism out of the equation, so there's no pressure to make a bunch of money. You're just doing it because you enjoy being helpful and having a nice afternoon. It's a wonderful thing.
Really great. It really is.
I think we're almost out of time. Is there anything you wanted to close with, Casey, or did you say it all?
I don't know. I think anything you want to ask me while you got me?
I'm
Anything
always
further,
wondering if
or-
you're still into Rutger Hauer movies or whether you got through them all.
Oh, yeah. I think I watched quite a few last time we were talking.
Yeah, you were on a Rutger Hauer kick. I don't think Rutger could really be replicated, which is ironic given his role in the film. Blade Runner,
Yeah.
very dad joke moment just happened. There's no one quite like Rutger, and I'm hoping we can find a new one to pinpoint and follow the career of. That's another really relaxing way to pass the afternoon, is digging into the filmography of almost A-list actors.
Yeah, he was something, wasn't he?
He was. Thanks, Casey.
Thank you. I hope that was fun.
It was.
Hope I did okay.
You did wonderfully.
That was Casey talking, she's so cool.
Hey, Casey, thanks for being on the show. I had a great time.